students, today we are going to discuss Twelfth Night as a romantic comedy. Viewed as one of Shakespeare's finest romantic comedies, Twelfth Night continues to be praised by scholars as an evocative and fascinating study of love, sexual desire, and self-discovery. Gregson distinguishes Twelfth Night as an epitome of Elizabethan romantic comedies and finds in its skillful blending of disparate and contradictory elements an almost perfect play.
Twelfth Night as a romantic comedy. Welcome to all to the magical world of Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, to the last of pure comedies. It is the finest development, the distillation of Shakespeare's romantic comedy. What the others in many ways point to, this play is. If music be the food of love, play on. Give me excess of it, that surfeiting the appetite may sicken and so die. That strain again, it had a dying fall. Twelfth Night, or What You Will. What You Will is the alternative title for the play Twelfth Night. Twelfth Night is one of the most graceful and harmonious comedy Shakespeare ever wrote. It is certainly that in which all the notes the poet strikes, the notes of seriousness, of raillery, of passion, of tenderness, and of laughter, blend in the richest and fullest concord. It is like a symphony in which no strain can be dispensed with. What is a romantic comedy? Definition of romantic comedy, and how is it different from the satiric comedies? For this, I would like to share the views of Neville Coghill, Vincent de Beauvais, Dr. Samuel Johnson, and John Way. Neville Coghill, in his essay, The Basis of Shakespearean Comedy, makes a scholarly exploration of its origins and traces the distinction between the satiric and romantic comedies to the 4th century grammarians who separated the realism and harshness of satire concerning itself with the vices and follies of people from the gentler glow of romantic comedies with its emphasis on young love and the resolving of difficulties. Mr. Coghill finds a classic definition of a romantic comedy in the work of a 13th century writer, Vincent de Beauvais, who says that a romantic comedy is a type of poem which transforms a sad beginning into a happy ending. Dr. Johnson sums up the brilliance of Twelfth Night, the various traits of Twelfth Night as a romantic comedy in an incomparable manner. He said that these comedies had to be the story of a duke in love with a countess, she in turn in love with the duke's son, who in turn in love with the duke's waiting maid, and with such other cross wooing. Dr. Johnson has always been a very witty critic, and the typical witticism of Dr. Samuel Johnson is inescapable in this remark. John Wayne, the representative modern critic, sums up the brilliance of Twelfth Night in equally emphatic terms. He says that Shakespearean comedies do not observe realistically. They move from shadow to sunshine. Now let's discuss the features of romantic comedy in Twelfth Night. These romantic comedies deal with love and harmony initially disturbed and finally restored. They contain low-life comedy which lends an essentially English flavor to the plays no matter in which part of the country the main action is cited. These romantic comedies are firmly separated from the comic conventions in the works of Plautus, Terence, Molière, and Johnson. In the works of these writers, the setting is familiar and the observed details are those of everyday experience. However, the characters are amusingly non-credible. In Shakespearean comedies, on the other hand, the settings may be fantastic, but the characters are credible and real. All Shakespearean comedies seek to absorb violence and suffering into its regenerative wholeness. Exile, dispossession, and death are always the background of romantic comedies. The foreground, however, is generally occupied by one or more pairs of young lovers. The only activity that is taken in complete seriousness in these romantic comedies is courtship ending in marriage. Though courtship is conducted in a light-hearted manner, it is an important business of life, especially since Shakespeare takes us in all his comedies to the very heart of courtship, which is self-knowledge. Multiple weddings is as habitual to these comedies as multiple deaths is to the tragedies. The familiar Shakespearean theme of appearance versus reality finds in these comedies a special application. The pattern is fully worked out in Twelfth Night, in which Orsino and Olivia typify false emotions that come with blurred vision. She hugging the memory of her dead brother, and he involved in a masochistic pursuit of her that grows more fascinating with each rebuff. Enter Viola, disguised as a boy. She loves the Duke. He employs her as an emissary to Olivia, who falls in love with Viola. And this tangle is finally straightened by the appearance of Viola's twin brother, Sebastian, who pairs off with a grateful Olivia and leaves Viola free to marry Orsino. The play is a study of disguises, physical as well as mental. Every character seems to be a victim. Orsino cannot bear to be known for what he is, a lover in love with the idea of love. Olivia cannot bear to be known for what she is, a healthy and nubile woman. Viola cannot bear to be known for what she is, a girl. Malvolio cannot bear to be known for what he is, a steward. Sir Toby, a parasite, and Sir Andrew, a fool. Everything that is lyrical in Shakespeare's genius is epitomized in Twelfth Night. The poetic abandon of love is seen in Orsino, for example. If music be the food of love, play on. Thank you.